guys.
Hello?
Hi there. How are you?
Hi, Leah. My friends can't get in. The ID and the password are not working from the email you sent. Didn't
Really?
work for me either, but I don't know how I got on because I went back to the email and clicked on the link, and I'm Zoom savvy.
Yeah. All right. Let me give you an invite link. I'm going to put it in the chat and why don't you send it to them right now?
Right, there's three people, one from the UK, one from New Zealand, and one from New York that want to get in.
Well, I'd love to have them on. So, I wonder, I was try giving them this link that I just put in the chat and we'll see if we can get them on cuz everyone else seems to be getting on. I wonder
I'm
if it's a
gonna send you guys a link, all right, to the group, okay? The I'm gonna send it to the messenger group. All right, I'm gonna mute my mic.
Okay. All right, let's just let the dust settle while some of this gets figured out. Just let yourself sink into the room. Notice the weight of the body in the chair or wherever you're sitting. And just let yourself slow down a little bit so that you can enter the speed of this actual moment. Now we're just going to give it a couple of minutes to see if we can get those extra people into the Zoom session. And if we can't, we'll get started with the class. But for the moment, just watch your breath and really enter deeper and deeper into this moment that you're in. Step deeply into the center of this moment that you're living. And just breathe there.
Yay!
Someone made it on. Hi. So we're just breathing and being present for a few moments while we see if your other friends can make it in. And there's one more. Okay, looks like this worked. Okay, guys. So I am going to mute everyone, and then we're gonna get rolling. All right. Okay. So first, let's just talk a little bit about meditation for those of you who are new to this class. And for those of you who have heard this before, you can never hear it too many times. I have people who have been listening to it for over 13 years. The most important thing I can tell you about meditation is that meditation is not about you. Almost everything you do all day long is all about you, your personality, your life story, even the good things you do are all about the good things you as a person are doing and what that means for your life and how your life is interacting with other people's lives. And that's all great. We're not looking down on that. But it's not meditation, and it's not the purpose of meditation. Meditation's purpose is not here to make you a better person. It's not here to make you healthier. It's really here to do one thing. It's here to part the veil between this stream of stories that are kind of blocking your mind from seeing the nature of life. It parts that veil so that you can actually see who you are, independent of your personal life story. You know, we all have so many things that we're striving for. I've got my own things too, but none of those things are what you really are. All of that is just sort of ripples on the surface of a vast ocean of what you are. Meditation is the opportunity to embrace the ripples while simultaneously becoming aware of them in the context of this vast, vast sea of consciousness that you are. And that's not something for you to understand. It's something for you to experience. And the way you experience it is by getting a little distance from this constant ticker tape of thoughts that you have going through your head all the time. Now, this string of thoughts in your head, you have been trained to think that this is you, but it's not. And again, you don't have to take my word for it. I can show you. I'm going to give you a very basic meditation technique, probably one you've heard before, but we're going to actually do it. And in doing it, you're going to be asked to place your attention on something. In this case, it'll just be the breath. And to keep your attention there. To just continually choose to abide with the breath, to be with the breath. And what you're going to find is that while you try and sustain this choice, your mind, your personality is going to be there trying to pull you away from your choice. And so I want you to just pay attention to that, and I want you to not miss the implications of that. If you are the one choosing and your mind is coming in to take you away from it, to go figure out what you're going to have for dinner or gripe about something that happened earlier today at work, the implication of that is that you are not your mind. You're something else. You are the one who has the power to make a choice. But you exercise that choice less often than you think. Mostly, we let this voice inside our head dictate everything that we do, think, and feel. We're just kind of puppets of this voice inside our head. You think you make the choice because the voice makes you think you made the choice, you know? You think you want pizza, and so you got pizza. You think you want to watch TV, and so you watched TV. But the truth is, all of those things are on automatic pilot, and you're just kind of being run by them. Meditation is a break from that system. Meditation is a choice from the part of you that is real, the part of you that can actually make a choice. Now, because you don't believe, because you don't identify with that part of yourself, that choice that you make actually feels very restricting at first. It feels like, oh, I'm not being allowed to think like me, or I'm not being allowed to do something that I want to do. But the more time you spend there, the more that place in consciousness that is the real you unfolds into something very comfortable. In fact, it is the only part of you that doesn't require energy to uphold it. It's the part of you that you don't have to constantly think into existence. It's the part of you that is not just a dream passing before your mind. So that's what I mean when I say meditation is not about you. I mean that meditation's not about your personality, and it's not about your life story. It's actually a chance for you to step out of the prison of the personality, out of the prison of the life story, so that you can see everything within the context of the vastness of what you are. In the beginning, it just looks like peace. It just looks like, God, I feel better. And maybe the initial realization is, oh, I wonder how much of my suffering is just because of where I'm placing my attention. Because all these things are still wrong with my life, but I don't feel any of them as wrong. Maybe I don't have to suffer while I fix them. That's probably one of the early realizations that you have when you practice. Again, you have to see it for yourself. It's not something you can read in a book or just hear me say. But as you go further, it becomes more than just a feeling of comfort and a feeling of peace. It becomes more than just a good night's sleep because you meditated. It becomes something very vast, something that has its own flow and movement and sense of timing. And as you keep working with it, at some point, something shifts. And that silence becomes something alive and conscious. And it becomes the foreground of your life. And when that happens, you don't lose the background. You don't lose the story. It's just before, where the story was the foreground and it was just sitting on a backdrop of space and silence, that silence becomes the foreground and the story just becomes something that is sort of happening in the background as a product of having a body in a world of people that have bodies. So that's meditation. Meditation happens whenever you sustain a choice. So how do we practice it? In this class, what we do is we watch the breath, but truly, any sustained choice will do. But in this class, we just sort of sit with a straight spine. It doesn't have to be super straight, not tight. Just kind of come to the edge of your chair a little bit so that you get a little curve in the back of your spine. That'll help you just sit comfortably with a straight spine. You can also lie down if you don't fall asleep. From that place, we meditate with our eyes open because you don't want to train yourself to think that meditation happens with the eyes closed and then you live with your eyes open. You want to be able to bring meditation into your life. So we meditate with our eyes open. Just let your eyes fall to a spot on the floor in front of you, or if you're sitting at a desk, let it fall to just somewhere on the desk in front of you, just to kind of get them out of the way. Then you're going to place your attention high in your body up here at the forehead and crown. That kind of just releases chemicals that help relax you a little bit, and it directs your energy upward. And what I mean by that is nothing more esoteric than if you were to scratch your forehead and maybe knock on your crown a little bit. That awareness you have of the feeling that remains there, that's all we're talking about. But then the most important part is from that place, you're going to begin to watch the breath. As you breathe in, you are right there with that inhale, 100% given to it. You're feeling your lungs expand, your skin stretch a little bit. You're aware of the increased tension a little bit as you're reaching the top of the breath. At the top of the breath, you're aware of this flip from the inhale to the exhale. This little gap of space in between the inhale and the exhale. And then you begin the exhale and you just ride that exhale all the way down, right there with that exhale. At the bottom, another little gap of nothing space as you flip from the exhale to the inhale. And you just let that be enough. When the mind comes in to tell you that it all has to be something more, or it has to be less boring, or it's keeping you from planning something that you need to plan in your head, you don't fight it, you just don't play with it. Okay, let the mind be the mind. You be the watcher of your breath. Are there any questions about that before we move forward? Okay. So anyone uncomfortable talking is welcome to put questions in the chat. I don't always catch it, but I will try. But we're going to go into meditation now. So just kind of straighten yourself a little bit. Place your attention high in your body at the forehead and crown. Let the eyes fall to a spot in front of you just to get them out of the way. And you're going to begin to breathe and become aware of every facet of the inhale, the exhale, and those silent gaps in between. Let's just begin. And if all of that instruction is tripping you up, just give yourself to the breath and let go of everything else. In truth, that will be enough to get you there. No need to extend or force the breath. Just be aware of the natural breath inside of you. Nothing to make happen. Nothing to understand. Nothing to achieve. Just breathe in, breathe out, and nothing else. energy has landed a bit. Now renew your focus. Breathe in, breathe out, and nothing else. Let that be enough. Good. Now stay in that space, and I just want to talk to you a little bit. There's a natural flow that exists in life. It's present in every moment. For every word spoken, there's a moment where silence follows. It's like you just hear the voice, and then all of a sudden it falls off a cliff into its opposite. Can you feel that? There's this projective force in life, and then there's this retreating force in life, a bright force that is building, 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 and then a force that is just kind of falling in on itself, just falling off the cliff. There is this young force that is just building, 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 until it becomes so big that it just can't sustain itself and it just collapses in on itself and comes back into itself, into this yin force, becoming the fertile ground, the fertile soil for the next projection of yang force. And as esoteric as that sounds, it's actually quite practical. You know, my yin and yang are out of balance tonight. I'm in the middle of course creation. I work at a university and I teach. And I have courses to create from scratch for classes that happen in less than a month. And so I have spent my day in this projective yang force. And, you know, there are moments where any natural person would stop pushing forward and allow the energy to fall and kind of collapse back in on itself so that I could experience that nurturing. But there's just a push right now to get these things done. In an academic schedule, the yang force is basically fall to spring, and then you get some yin time in the summer. But that's when the human manipulates the yin and the yang projective force. When I sit to teach a class, for example, all of that falls off the plate. The human mind is not allowed to manipulate it. And what happens is you step back in to this very natural cycle of yin and yang. You can feel it. Those of you who have been meditating with me for a long time can feel it, right? You'll be sitting in meditation, really given to it. And maybe for a period of time, it's like the wind is at your back and things are just getting clearer and there's this beautiful energy inside of you. And you just feel like you're aware of this resonant, intelligent light. And then for some reason, and you just can't even figure out what it is, it's like all the light slowly gets shut off and you end up in a place that feels just kind of stagnant. And, you know, that's where most people stop because they think it stopped working. But the truth is, it's all still working. What you do during those stagnant phases, what you do during the dark phase, really determines what you're able to do and see in the next bright phase. And so we let go of needing to manipulate that. We let go of needing to be entertained. We let go of needing to achieve something. Because honestly, the biggest achievement you can have is to let go of all achieving and step back in to the cycles that are present just as a product of reality, that are not forced and manipulated by your own personal stories, but are just present independent of the personality. Because when you step into that place and just let it all be what it is and just be there in full awareness, you have entered back into your natural state. And in that state, your consciousness is expanding and just reaching out with the vast parts of what you are. Your understanding of that might take years, but the experience of it, the benefit of it, is immediate. You become like a battery that's been plugged into a charger, and you are just slowly starting to really fill back up. And you start just riding the waves of these realizations that come directly from that part of life that doesn't require your mind to hold it up. The real part of you. The eternal part of you. And again, this isn't something for you to take my word for. It's something for you to show yourself by letting go of everything and just being with the moment, just breathing and just letting that be enough. manipulating nothing, conjuring nothing, and just being present and okay with what's left. At first, it looks like nothing, but it's not nothing. It's a vast ocean that you just don't quite have the full capacity to see it yet, but you can feel it. You can start to experience it. Again, it begins as a peace, a comfort, but that peace becomes more and more profound, and eventually you just become one with this vast ocean of consciousness. So how do we practice that? We practice it the same way we started. We're going to go back in to watching the breath. But don't manipulate the breath. Just watch it. And don't ask anything of the moment. Just be with it. And when the mind comes in to take you away, don't even ask the mind to stop trying to take you away. Let the mind do its thing, but you don't play with it. You just watch the breath. Give it all space to be. Everything has its place. But you just gently abide with the breath and be aware of the moment that you're in. You'll start to feel its rhythms and its pulsings. But you don't even have to look for it. Let go of everything else and you'll just be it. You'll be a cork floating in it. It'll move you up and down and you'll become aware of it. So let's go back into meditation. Manipulate nothing. Watch the breath. How much of yourself can you just let go into it? Let's try that again now. Go ahead and slow yourself way down to the speed of this present moment. As you breathe in, breathe out, and nothing else. You're always showing life what you are. Let life show you its rhythm. Let life show you what it is. Fall into sync with that now. is comfortable, but it sits on the edge of a razor. Poised and ready. Return to your breath. Don't play with the mind. Return to your breath. Give yourself a chance. You can handle anything for this short amount of time. Give yourself a chance. Let's go 5 more eternal minutes. But really give yourself to the breath, to the silence, to the moment. Abide there firmly, but without force. Just through your willingness, abide there firmly. Good job. Okay, let's talk a little bit. You guys did great. So, what did we do? Why did we do this? We did this because this is one of the few things that actually feeds your connection with reality. Almost everything you do all day just feeds your connection with your personal story. Pretty much everything. But this is the one thing that feeds your connection with your true self, your ability to be aware of your true self. And again, it begins with a peace, and I'm pretty sure most of you experienced that tonight. A peace that deepens and becomes more profound. But eventually your sensory system for experiencing the deeper realities of that peace opens up. And that's something not even worth talking about. You'll see it for yourself if you practice every day. In the beginning, I recommend that you spend 15 minutes practicing every day. Even if it doesn't work, you can spend 15 minutes being terrible at meditation every day. And eventually, you're going to start to stumble upon some of the personal little shifts that you need to make to be able to let go of the story a little more. And you'll start to feel very comfortable. And at that point, you'll start to become curious about meditation, and that's when you should start extending your practice. When you get to the end of 15 minutes, and there's a part of you that just wants more, that's the time to extend your practice. Otherwise, you'll just be in an ego battle with yourself, and that's not valuable. I've done it. I've been there. It's not what worked. What works is getting yourself to a place where instead of willpower, you just have a sense of willingness. A sense of willingness to go deeper. Because more and more you come to see that there's another part of you. And that part of you actually is better news than the rest of you. The personality is mostly built on fears and desires. So it's a lot of mood swings. But the real part of you is vast, and it's the foundation upon which it's all sitting. For those of you who have been practicing this week to go deeper, I'd like you to take moments throughout your day where you just become aware of the yin and yang cycle that you're in life, right? To let go of your own forced pushing or pulling, and just take a moment to get in touch with what is your actual environment. Not just your work environment, but the broader universe that you're sitting in. What is the energy of that moment doing? Is it pushing forward, or has it gone dark? Has it gone damp and dark? Or is it bright and moving forward? And just step into the natural cadence, the natural rhythm. Cadence is the wrong word. I had a spiritual teacher that always used that word, and I've got it in my head. But the rhythm of the moment. Just so that you can find that natural state in yourself. And then from that place, as you look at stepping back into the dream of your day, into that dream of life, make some choices. Had you gone down some bad paths that are just making you feel like crap? Well, find a happier way through it. Find a road through it that doesn't require you to betray your true self, to betray your comfort and ease. Doesn't mean you won't be tired. If you spend all day in a yang phase, you're going to be tired, and I'm tired. But having spent some time tonight, such a solid chunk of time back in the natural flow of the universe, you're not cut off anymore from it. And so it just flows back in, fills you up, washes away some of the junk that you took on. I'm sure some of you must be feeling that. So this week, I'd like you to focus on that. And I'd like you to see if you can gain an ability to quickly let go of the manipulated cycle and just instantly step out of it into the natural flow. And then choose consciously to step back in to a cycle, whatever you need to do to get your day accomplished. It's a dance. It's not a perfect dance. And there's always going to be friction if you're living in the world. It's not frictionless. Manifesting anything, friction is just how you manifest for most things. But if you're suffering that friction, if you've got a story about it where you're resisting it and moving into it at the same time, that's insanity. Don't push something away and try and pull it towards you at the same time. If you're going to do it, give yourself to it. And don't fight it. Step into the cycle with full consciousness. But for those of you who are new, who maybe that all seems like a bit much, what I'm asking of you is 15 minutes a day. If you do it at the same time every day, you can get your body into a rhythm. I've never done that, but I'm told it makes everything easier. People say it's easier if you do it in the morning. Again, I've never found that to be true, but, a million years of Indian teachings can't all be wrong. So I'm sure that is helpful to a lot of people. But more than anything, make it natural. Step into your own natural flow and let go of your own personal conjurings and insistences enough to get a feel for what that flow is. Be in the moment. All right, I'm happy to answer any questions about anything we did tonight or anything at all. You can either unmute yourself and ask them, or you can put them in the text, whatever makes you happiest. Or if you're just done, we can close up. All right, let's see. So someone is saying it's easy when your soul presses its time now. Could you say more about that? What do you have in mind when you say that? When you say it is easy, it's easy when your soul presses its time now.
It's easy. Hello, my name is Yvonne.
Hi, Yvonne.
And I have some friends here, and we're working on consciousness and energy and enlightenment and getting to our real reality. And so we're sharing. And thank you, by the way.
My pleasure.
We're sharing places to go and things to listen to raise our consciousness out of what it has been to get in the moment now. And I've been talking with everyone about staying in the moment. So what I meant by that is we need to meditate every day. We truly do. It takes us out of what I call social consciousness. And you were talking about how your mind wants to talk to you. I call that monkey mind. When you're attempting to do what you get into that space, and then I didn't do the laundry, I need to cook dinner. I call that monkey mind. I call that, it's, for me, I call it the other entity that's messing with you. You understand what I'm saying?
I do. In shamanism, they describe it as a parasite in your mind.
Yeah, indeed. And some of my friends are healing, and we're all together because I need to remember things that I did in the past. And I feel that sharing with them what I have known and experienced is putting me in that place where I'm like back at square one. And So I'm no greater than or less than them, but they're helping me as well as me helping them because I put my meditations, my manifesting skills, my understanding on the back burner because let's just say I got involved in social consciousness so deeply that I forgot who I was.
Fair enough.
How's that?
Sounds
Do you
good.
understand what I'm saying?
I think the whole world knows what you're saying.
Well, somebody who hasn't been there, done that, doesn't know, but I keep telling them, I keep not telling, I keep sharing with them that their soul already knows.
Hmm.
We got so deep and stuck in the mud that we forgot. And so we're all here for remembrance. And what I meant by that is I know that I need to meditate every day.
Hmm.
I need to get rid of all that clutter, all the things that bombard my light field, and I need to allow even that space where we all attempt to get to nothingness. There's nothing going on, so that miracles and manifestations and whatever's being sent to us from the universe comes through, and that's hard sometimes.
Hmm.
It's really hard. And I want to thank you because I got to a space where I wasn't asleep, but I was probably more relaxed than I have been in a year since this whole pandemic started.
I'm so glad.
Focus, meaning I participated. I didn't go outside of myself. I actually participated on the breath so that it was, I came back before you ended, but it was exhilarating. It
Hmm.
was comfortable. There was no thoughts coming in about, I'm the wife, I gotta give meds, I gotta feed dogs, I gotta feed my husband, I need to fry that chicken, you know.
Yeah.
And that was a most wonderful space to be in. So I thank you. I appreciate you.
I
And
appreciate you too.
I also appreciate the person who invited me here tonight. I needed that. I know how to meditate. I've done everything from transcendental. Do I
Hmm.
do it? No. But I'm starting again, baby steps. And I
Hmm.
just want you to know that I appreciate you. And my soul's been pressing upon me. And it was easy because I allowed myself to stay in this moment, and I didn't get up out of the chair, and I didn't have any thoughts of anything. I know I didn't because I was gone.
Hmm. Hmm.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank
I
you.
don't know, and I always worry that people can't understand what I mean.
No, I
But
think you're very clear.
if it's not about in the mind, and hopefully everybody can feel with their soul what I mean,
Hmm.
because we all know this stuff. We
Yeah.
don't practice it.
And we're living in a world with a lot of suffering.
A
And
lot
you,
of noise.
yeah, and it all asks you to do the opposite of this. Every invitation in this world is the opposite of this invitation. So you have to make a choice that you're going to bring it in. But how do you do that, when you get so little time with your real self? I have
How do you
found,
do it? You get an invitation from somebody that you met that said to you, there's a man, that's how you do it.
yeah.
And there's a Zoom, and you can get a link. You just have to do the work, and you get there. And it was probably the most unforced, peaceful moments that I've spent, other than some other work that I do, meaning I wasn't trying to go to sleep. I stayed present in the now. That's what I meant.
Yeah,
In the moment. I wasn't anywhere else.
that's great.
Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure. So, I'm here every week. Those of you, if you haven't signed up, so like it's free, but you can get on an email list where I will send you a link. Apparently, there was an issue with the link tonight, but that's not the norm.
The
Usually,
three of us, there was, so a total of
Yeah.
I said I'm Zoom savvy because I have doctors and therapists and blah 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 blah.
Uh-huh.
And I typed in the ID and the passcode and it didn't work.
Yeah, no, normally it wouldn't even ask you for those things. So I'm not
And,
sure what
and they
happened.
couldn't get on either.
Yeah. So just know that that's not a normal thing, but please, email me if
And
you're having an issue.
I
But
shared this with our, we're a loving group of people who come together and chit chat on a messenger app that I call her the goddess creator this past week. So that link is in there. Can we get back to you just with the same link and password if we click on it?
no, it'll be a different link and pass. It'll be a different link, and the password you shouldn't even have to put it in. So something just got screwed up tonight. But if you go to bodymindtapping.com, I'm going to type it in right now. Uh,
So we can get rid of that because I was thinking, oh, we just need to go into messenger. We can get there every time.
so you go into bodymindtapping.com and click on the weekly meditations. It'll have a little form where you can just put in your name and your email. One of you must have done it, or you wouldn't have had the original link.
I did it. We all did it.
Oh, okay. I haven't.
Everybody got the invite, but we couldn't get in.
Okay. Oh, well. Okay. All right. I'll figure it out. But if anyone hasn't, go do that so that you get the weekly invite. Um, and um, and if you have problems, please email me so that I can figure out what's going on. But I think,
was gonna write you back, but everybody's here now.
yeah. Okay. Great. Well,
Yes, and Sylvia's here, Martin's here, Vicky's here, and I'm here. So that's the four of us.
I think what you guys are doing is great. As you
We're
seek,
all healing.
yeah, and as you're healing, just one piece of advice I want to give you, because you can get into a mindset where you constantly think there's all this stuff to achieve spiritually, and that's a little bit of a trap. All right? So as you go after these things, if you come to classes with me, or I'm sure you have several other places that you guys are learning from, just in the back of your mind, remember, it's about not doing. It's about letting go of the constant idea that something has to be different with this moment that you're in.
I don't feel that anybody's doing that.
Okay.
And that's better than sitting in a room anyway, beating yourself up, waiting for a therapist to tell you that you just need some more medication. So, what I mean by that is, we visited here tonight. I thought it was beautiful, but maybe there's and one of my brothers, sisters, has a group to go to later this week where
Great.
everybody prays for the healing of others. I don't think that's getting caught in a trap.
No, no,
I think
no.
that's still using your conscious energy, and that's good.
Sure.
But nobody feels pressed upon like we got to keep a schedule. This was an invitation that came up like that, and we've attempted to go to other meditations, and I said, I'm going to give this one a try. If I can't get in, going to third time, I'm done, because we've clicked on other links, and some people have requested we join their pages for meditation, but they never got back to us. So we joined the page, but we never had the meditation. And I don't want to suck up that air out of the ethers for this. I'm going to be quiet.
Okay.
But thank you. I appreciate you, and I will come back.
Yeah, come back anytime. It's wonderful to have new people here, and maybe if you come back, you won't be new anymore. All right. Are there any other questions or things you guys want to talk about before we close up?
All right, so bodymindtapping.com.
Yeah.
But I mean, there'll be a invitation in the email for the next one, right?
Yeah, if you're on the list, if you went in and if you went to the weekly meditation page and put in your name and all of that, then okay. So yeah, so I have to go in and add you as. I think I know what happened.
Not all of us.
Yeah.
But we also found a shortcut in case we couldn't get in, that we can go to YouTube and catch up.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right, great. Well, so we'll figure it out, but I'll make sure if you guys signed up and everything, then yes, you'll get an invite the next time
Thank you.
around.
I appreciate you. I'm 61 years old. I'm not technologically savvy. The easier it is, the more I show up. Thank you very much.
Fair enough.
Blessings to you.
Blessings to you too.
Peace to your spirit, and I'm out.
Okay.
Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. I gotta give meds now.
All right, everybody. Thanks, everybody. Have a great night. I'll see you next week.